What massively improved your mental health? Write in the comments what you think about it. What has improved your health? Enjoy the show. Story 1. Stop playing multiplayer online games. Used to play World of Tanks and I was good, like Super Unicum good. But anything less than perfection began to enrage me, and my toxicity started to alienate me from my mates. Bit of a catch-22 that I don't talk to them as often now I don't play. But the upside is when I do, it's nothing but chill and wholesome. Also the gym. Feeling fit is a great antidepressant. Story 2, forcing myself to do something and coming up with another productive thing to replace it with if I can't. So I will either write 1K words a day or read one chapter in a book I'm working on. Sometimes one, sometimes ZI end up doing both. But consistently, if I can't do one, I do the other. It's been oddly successful in keeping me from doom scrolling all day. And as I implement little goals like that more and more, I find my entire day filled with small successes. I'm learning a language consistently now, working out every day, writing, reading, sewing, creating things. I still have my moments, but this has been the best method I've ever used. Story 3. Therapy, drawing boundaries with family, a good support system, and a job with less stupid BS. Also eating better, drinking more water and getting good sleep and some exercise. Doing what makes me happy as long as I'm not hurting anyone else or myself, even though it's my body, but whatever. Good luck all. Story 4. Garden. Planting things, propagating flowers and such helped a lot. Amugurumi too, but the materials can be expensive, so I focus more on the free garden joys. And just to make it clear, I know gardening can also have its cost, but I'm doing it mostly for free or buying 12-cent sachets of vegetable seeds. Story 5. Stopping with self-hating jokes. No more I'm gonna cull myself after anything. This was a problem in my early teen years, and all my friends. It was crazy how my health improved when I stopped using that type of. It may be mass humor, but when you're not getting better. Also, deleting social media I knew had bad effects on me. If I found myself doom scrolling, I delete the app. If I keep seeing content that is upsetting, delete. I try to not let myself have unhealthy relationships with apps. Working on unmasking as an autistic person has significantly helped too. Story 6. Having a good secure job where the management and staff respect you as a person. I lucked out at my last 2 jobs. Best jobs I had was being a reprographics print tech at a construction document processing shop and as an architectural tech CAD operator at a big window manufacturing plant. The right type of management and work culture is everything for mental health, no matter what kind of emotional intelligence you may have. Story 7. General Strike, December 12, 2024. The people seek access to universal health care across all 50 states and outlying territories. Department of Health Human Services. Minimum wage of $20 across all 50 states with mandatory adjustments to current salaries in proper ratio with pay rates that currently exceed state minimum wages. Department of Labor. Less private and business tax structure overlays that allow for citizens to dodge large sums of federal taxes that would otherwise be utilized for state security. IRS. Reduce federal military security and defense funding. Department of Defense. Provide an additional flat $2,000 per month tax cut for those that are classified as working full-time or part-time. Department of Labor. Access to universal housing. Department of Interior. We ask these things because as things continue to get more destabilized due to external conflict and scarcity of resources, like low-entry jobs being replaced by AI and labor technologies, Americans should feel supported across all stratas of demographics and ethnographies in order to sufficiently give back. What are our values as Americans if these are not what we should be aiming for? Where is our social contract otherwise fulfilled? Story 8. Vyvanse 50 milligrams, seriously. Diagnosed with depression first, all the while asking to go through ADHD assessments and all the myriad of antidepressants that they were pushing was just making me gain weight. We moved to a different state to be close to family, which forced me to find a new therapist, and this one took my request seriously. Once ADHD was confirmed and I had my diagnosis, we tried Concerta along with Pristique for the sad feelings. I never really felt anything change, and after a while brought that up. She switched me up to Vyvanse and it was like a whole new world was unlocked. Life became way easier and I was getting shit done at an amazing clip. I can actually fully think through situations or problems and come to actual conclusions and remember them as I am working through them IRL. About a year into taking Vyvanse, I asked to wean off the Pristique as I suspected my depression was a symptom of my untreated ADHD, and she agreed the caveat that if it didn't work, we'd look at antidepressants again. So, Now I've been off antidepressants for a year, taking my ADHD meds consistently every day, and everything is moving along swimmingly. It's not to say there aren't bad, weird days, but those are few and far between, and life has never been better. Story 9. Realizing that I was the problem. Taking accountability, getting on medication and staying consistent. Going to therapy and staying consistent. Realizing what maladaptive daydreaming is a mental condition that you need to actually work to get rid of it with a professional. Quitting nicotine massively improved my mental health. Leaving my friend group. Being conscious of the music I was listening to. No more rap music. No more negative imagery. No more music about shaking ass, robbing men, drugs, sex, relationships, heartache, etc. Paying attention to my thoughts. Story 10. When I see something, hear something, find myself in some situation that bothers me, I ask myself 2 questions. Is this my problem? Do I want this to be my problem? I do not have to take on the world's issues. I do not need to have an opinion on everything that's wrong in my world. I refuse to get my knickers in a twist about something I have absolutely no control over. Admittedly, that first question by itself sounds like selfishness. That's why I have to ask the second. I'm a much happier person by choosing what I allow to make me unhappy. Story 11. Following a whole food ketogenic diet. Thought I was maybe going to lose a little weight, but it changed everything about my life instead. See the following books or look up on YouTube. Change Your Diet. Change Your Mind. A Powerful Plan to Improve Mood, Overcome Anxiety, and Protect Memory for a Lifetime of Optimal Mental Health by Georgia Ede. Brain Energy. A revolutionary breakthrough in understanding mental health and improving treatment for anxiety, depression, OCD, PTSD, and more. Book by Christopher M. Palmer. Story 12. Being alone. I kept thinking my life was empty and meaningless without constant social interaction, but people just irritate me to my core, and that's fully a me problem. The older I get, the more I realize that I enjoy watching life play out from afar. I don't need to be involved in much for me to enjoy existing. I love walking and sunbathing. I love going shopping and looking for cute things to add onto my home. But truth be told, I can go months without putting in more effort than what's necessary to do my job. I love my little lonesome life. I'm happiest in the environment I created for myself. And yes, I am autistic. Story 13. Having fuck you money, which means different things to different people. To me, it means my rent is paid regardless, so I don't have to put up with or deal with this grimy world's bullshit. Also, staying fully hydrated, red light near therapy, daily physical exercise, 4-count breathing, feeding myself nutritious food, voting against fascism, and being sober. Story 14. 2 things, and both are about the same level of life-changing. Yoga. Having a regular practice. Most of my mental health problems arose from feeling like I would be weak and in pain the rest of my life. Building strength, getting rid of that pain, and using breathwork through yoga changed that completely. Regularly gardening, seeing life start, grow, produce, and fade away over and over again is so immensely satisfying and fulfilling. I started out growing food plants in pots. Now I have a food forest in my front yard. I go out every day and can harvest pounds of food that come from plants I have babied since they were little seeds. It is something so simple, and yet so amazing I'm still astonished it exists. There is a whole form of mental health therapy called horticulture therapy. It's particularly helpful for people who feel a lack of control over their lives. Having the responsibility of a plant that will grow and reward you is life-changing. Story 15. A psychologist. It resulted in more sleep hours and working out. Getting a better work. My dream job, actually. Also, it improved my social relationships. A psychologist. A good one. It took time to find the right one, mind you. Not all of them are good. Keep looking. The one will fix you up. Hard work, but man, it is worth it. Story 16. Leaving poor managers and the toxic teams they always create. Walking everywhere as much as reasonably possible. Spending time outside doing landscaping. I went from spending almost all of my time indoors on my phone or computer to spending most of it outside in the dirt. Reducing my consumption of pop. I fall off the wagon on this one, and it's usually a symptom of me not doing well mentally. I can moderate it appropriately only when I'm doing well. Attainable goal setting. If I can't start on a project, I take it as an indication that I either don't actually want it or the goal is too big. If it's too big, figure out how to chunk it out into smaller goals that are more attainable. It might be embarrassing how small those chunks get before you move on it, but moving is all that matters. Getting on 2 wheels again. I rode a motorcycle for many years and let it go when I lived in a big city. Some things become embedded into your identity after you experience them. Listen closely for what those things are. My cats have kept me alive through some dark times. In those moments, I couldn't bear the thought of giving them up or harming them with my absence. So, I felt forced to keep going. I understand that someone truly suicidal may not have such rational thought processes, but I'm also exceptionally clear-headed even when I'm drunk. Suicide is the epitome of selfishness. Story 17. Learning the value of my own internal emotions. How to truly evaluate them, and that, for example, emotions typically labeled negative have no less value than positive ones. Asking myself logically, why does X thing or situation or person make me feel this, etc. A person can learn so much about themselves from this practice if you pair emotion with logical thinking. A large benefit is the ability to keep emotion from ruling your life, whether anger or deep sadness or regret. Separation and evaluation keeps them from defining and ruling one's behavior or overwhelming one's mind. Story 18. Medically, you could try this herb Brahmi asterisk, Indian pennywort, water hyssop, thyme-leafed gratiola, herb of grace. This has the least side effects. Just don't mix it with alcohol or any other medication. Spiritually, you could do a lot. I may suggest meditation, but it's not easy initially, so start with small things first. Help someone doesn't matter if it's financially or helping someone non-financially. Give food to beggars and see and feel their reactions after you have helped them. Trust me, it helps. You will feel good if you keep doing this. This will definitely help you mentally. But the catch is once your mental health is improved, don't stop this. Continue. Story 19. Going to the gym and spending some time outside every day. Was very depressed as a teen. Psychiatrist told me to eat more protein, exercise, take a fish oil pill every day, and spend time outside every day. If I do those things, life is good. If not, it's not a good time. Honestly, when my body feels good, it's easy to have a good self-image and feel healthy and good about myself. When I don't have a good perception of myself, feeling bloated, heavy, or weak, then everything becomes harder. Story 20. A 12-step program. There are many. If you remotely fit in anyone, I encourage you to join one, work the steps, and become part of a 12-step community. It will change the way you think and the way you look at life. You could also do the Oxford program, more Christian than a 12-step program. You don't have to believe in God. 12-step programs are not religious. You have to believe in the concept of a higher power that is greater than you. This is so that you learn humility and come to understand you can't control everything. It teaches you to let go and have faith that everything will be okay, even if everything feels like it's not okay. Faith does not have to be religious. It's akin to having faith that the sun will go down at night and rise in the morning, which is something we all believe in without a second thought anyway. We all have a lot of faith already. We just don't always acknowledge it. Story 21. Getting wrongfully terminated from an extremely unprofessional and toxic work environment, LOL. After they fired me, I started loading up all my backup and proof that I needed to contest it. Turns out a lot of folks had already went to corporate. I ended up reaching out to the director of HR, and now they're investigating the property next week due to all of this. Story 22. I turned off notifications on my phone. The only time my phone buzzes are phone calls, texts from my mom, and I volunteer as a firefighter, EMT, so whenever I get a call. Otherwise, everything else is off. Instagram, Facebook, I have notifications totally off for, and I have to open the apps to see them. Test messages, it show up, but I don't get a ping. Prompted me to spend way less time on my phone. If someone needs me urgently, then a phone call is available. With that, I also gained probably 40 pounds in my last year of grad school, started hitting the gym again, and lost 55 pounds since January. I felt way better than ever. Story 23. Quitting alcohol. If you can handle the occasional drink and stop yourself, that's one thing. I can't. I was using alcohol as self-medication for anxiety and such, but over time it just makes things worse. The longer you've been abusing it, the longer it will take for your brain to adjust back to sobriety. But after a few days, I realized how much clearer and better I felt, as my actual mental health medication was finally allowed to fully do its job. Story 24. Taking early retirement. We got a new library director. She was young, but I at first thought that would be good as she'd probably bring new energy. But then she started targeting older employees. After 19 years of above-average excellent evaluations, I was suddenly, going by the evaluation she gave me, the worst librarian to ever walk the face of the earth. Nothing I did was right, according to her. I even had to take a stress leave. It got so bad. You have to go to weekly group therapy sessions on stress leave in order to be able to return to work. The therapist mentioned I might consider leaving and finding another job. The trouble was, Despite laws to the contrary, getting a new position at 57 is incredibly hard, especially for higher positions. I was the head of my department. I went back to work and things just got worse. Driven to tears a couple of times and visits to HR got no results. I had enough years invested in the retirement system, what with that job and one before it, so I decided to take early retirement. Retiring that early meant that my monthly pension is a lot smaller than it would have been at 65. But frankly, I don't think I could have stood another 8 years of the crap that director was putting me through. Stress dropped off me in a wave after my last day at work. I've never been happier in my life. Story 25. Literally, just retraining myself to view my place in the world differently, trying to balance the idea that we are all in this crap situation together, situation simply being alive on this planet, and still recognizing your own strengths and talents. I'm not sure why, but the law of one really helped me reframe my brain this way. It's a bit too woo-woo for me, but over time I just get it now. Life's a little less stressful when you are not stressed out over your own minuscule problems. Story 26 meds. Learning I was diagnosed autistic when I was 2, which subsequently jogged years and years of childhood memories, which I had to integrate over the course of 2 months. The emptiness inside me went away, and I'm an actual human being now. Lot of autism trauma, turns out. Also, learning that my traits and symptoms are either just autism or altered by autism was in many ways a relief. Understanding my disabilities and that it's not my fault is a relief. Story 27. Having surgery and a valid reason to not check my emails or be paranoid about my bosses contacting me, I still ended up working from home during my FMLA. They do not remember this. I want to work for them, but I am drowning. Nothing I do is good enough. But because I can't admit I'm a failure, I won't quit, at least not on bad terms. Need the references. The only plus side is that in academia, a potential new PI would understand fully the reasoning of, I just couldn't do it anymore. Story 28. Leaving healthcare. Not dating. Staying single and child-free. Putting myself first after years of putting others and their kids before me. Saying no. Listening to my gut and also making myself stop and reevaluate what is most important in my life. Seeing something I want and getting it for myself, instead of seeing something I think this person may need or want and getting that instead. Bringing my childhood into my adulthood. Puzzles, games, art, old school anything. Before COVID, going on vacation by myself twice a year. Staying in the house more and enjoying quiet time. Telling everybody to F off and putting my phone on Do Not Disturb whenever the F I feel like it. Ignoring POS waste of space, codependent basket cases. Peace and quiet are on the other side of that green grass. Go get it. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it, be sure to write comments and share your stories.